I spent $14 on an Xbox One controller. Not only are we going to be fixing it, we're going to be upgrading it as well. Let's take a quick look at the damage and what we're dealing with.
So we've got some bent pins in that micro USB connector there, and more bent pins on the battery connector there. They both look pretty simple to do though.
And then I present to you our upgrade, the Extremerate Xbox One DTF kit.
So you get the required bits and tools packaged nicely in this foam, and we're going to grab the orange spudger first so we can crack these sides off. Once you have those handle pieces off, you'll be able to see on each side there's two security Torx screws. They look a little like that. Now don't worry, because the kit comes with them. Undo those 4 screws that you have access to begin with. Once they're undone, peel up the sticker and you'll find your 5th and final screw hiding behind there. You can either peel it up or just pierce it with your screwdriver. I want to try and keep it intact, so I peeled it up. With that 5th and final screw out, the back and the front covers now come off, so we're left to start disassembling all the smaller parts inside. Now there's 2 separate boards in this controller, both of which have broken pins on them, so I need to remove both of them to completely work on them properly. This first one, I'm going to have to remove the soldered wires, the black one, the grey one, for the shoulder buttons. I'm going to leave the rumble motors attached because they can just pop out of the shell and come with it, so that I can get that battery connector right off. Here's one I've pulled from a different controller, cleaned up those solder holes and it fits in nicely. Add some flux as you do when soldering, and touch up those little pads. Now with that first board done, dusted, out of the way and repaired, we've got another 6 screws. This will get our secondary board out, just like that, pop, and we can deal with our broken micro USB port. Now again, I'm just going to use a USB port that I've pulled from another controller, because I don't actually have brand new ones of these on the shelf, because I don't really repair a whole lot of Xbox controllers. Probably noticed that for regular viewers of the channel, all 5 of you. Gonna add more flux once again, and then we can solder those bits all in place as well. And then with a bit of luck, we're gonna have a happy working micro USB port. And this is what it currently looks like, all disassembled, but ready to start with the fun stuff, the upgrade. Hopefully it's fun.
Okay, so we're at the point now where we can start lining up and installing the kit onto the board. There's 2 different methods to power up the LED kit off the board. Method 1, no soldering method. I'm opting for method 2, where you do soldering. You get 2 little wires with it and attach them to 2 different caps on the board. Feels like it's going to be more reliable than just shoving this under the battery terminals. It's up to you if you want to solder or not. The choice is yours.
That there looks pretty dang close to where it should be. You don't want it to cover any of those gold pads or be lined up incorrectly, because the LEDs are on this. If the LEDs don't line up, you're not going to see them through properly, but also we don't want to impede the actual usage of the controller by covering the button pads and having them not respond correctly in time. Just going to press it down, so hopefully this double-sided tape is good quality and holds, because I don't want this shifting in the installation. We're going to apply our flux to the battery plus and battery minus terminals. This is where we're going to solder one half of the wires. So we're going to tin the pads so they're ready. Just split the wires a little bit there so they're separated enough that they can still reach their respective terminals, but I haven't completely split them that they're going to be off on their own wildly. Solder them both in. Beautiful. Now we've got to add it to the capacitors of the board. So this is the wire that goes from the battery plus side to the top of C33, and the battery negative side is going to go to the top of C34. Make sure you get that right, we don't want to blow anything up. And that's what it'll look like in the end.
Right, that's all the soldering done, nice and easy. It looks good to me, hopefully it works. We can start adding all the new buttons and everything in now. Just before we do, quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay.
They offer precision PCB manufacturing, fast turnaround times, and prices that won't break the bank. From prototypes to full-scale production, they've got you covered. Need assembly services or advanced options like flex PCBs? No problem. Plus, their expert support team is ready to help you every step of the way. Join the global community of innovators who trust PCBWay. And in addition to this, they also have a web store where you can find awesome tools, toys, and merch. I'll leave a link in the description below. Alright, let's get back into it. We're going to remove all the stock standard buttons out of this thing, and we're going to put in our nice, pretty red new ones. And with all the new buttons in place and the pads back on, we're going to dump the board back in, and everything looks like it lines up, so we're going to shove 6 screws in it again. Now this is where things start to get a little trickier because we've got flexible ribbon cables that we need to be taping down into the correct spots so they don't get cut, and they also fit. So the top two are just peeled and rolled in left and right. Then we've got this piece which needs to attach to the secondary board. This one is a little bit tricky to line up with it all plugged in still. But you want to make sure you get it in the right spot so you're not covering the pads, because that will affect button usage. Just before clamping the two boards together, I'm just going to make sure there's no wires sticking under there. I don't want to damage any of them. This is where we're at the moment. Not too bad. We're opening up the shoulder button now so we can take the old black cover off, get our new shiny red one in there, while also sticking our new LEDs in there. Now, this ribbon cables, especially on angles like this, can be a bit of a pain, so I'm not looking forward to this part. The tweezers you can use to push down so that it sticks a bit better, because again it's just double-sided tape, and we don't want to have that cable crossing over that motor that spins there, because that will cut it and you'll lose your lights. The thinner ribbon cable, just the 3 LEDs, goes up and it sits behind the front face buttons. I ran the cable through the same way that the shoulder button cables run, the grey and the black one. Just going to do the same on the other side. Again, trying to be careful with this thing so that you don't run the cable too close to the motory bit that spins around, because that would not be a fun time. Okay, well that was definitely my least favourite part of that reassembly process. I'm going to reattach the piece that goes over the top now. And we're getting some nice clicking sounds, so I think that's in right too. Safe to say the hardest ribbons are all done now, and we're only left with these two that go around the sticks. That's just a case of, once again, removing the tape, and we'll stick that one down. Do that to both, and then we'll have the sticky pieces over the top for later, so that they'll have clear bases so we can see them. Well, there we go. That's pretty much all done as far as the new internals go. We can put the faceplate and the back shell back on now. They fit together. As long as this fits, everything should be fine. Start screwing it back in. Probably rather beneficial to actually test this thing before I screw it in and call it done. But I like to live dangerously, so I'm going to say all good. Let's screw it all back together. Let's turn it on and let's see how it looks.
Go plug it in the computer and then jump on Gamepad Tester and see everything's functional.
And now we're just going to check it on the computer. Which means our micro USB now works. All the buttons are now working.
That's it, done, dusted, working. What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. What do I think of it? It definitely looks better than stock. A little bit of a pain to deal with the ribbon cables up in that area. The rest of it was fine. If you want one of these kits for yourself, links in the description below. They are affiliate links, so they do help me out. Don't forget, like, subscribe. We'll burn out. See you in the next one.